France says it won't deploy nukes if Russia uses them against Ukraine.
Here's a summary of the article.
France would not respond with nuclear weapons should Russia resort to deploying them tactically against Ukraine, President Emmanuel Macron said. Our doctrine rests on the fundamental interests of the nation. They are defined clearly and wouldn't be directly affected at all if, for example, there was a ballistic nuclear attack in Ukraine, in the region, Macron said during a live interview on public broadcaster France 2 late Wednesday.
This post received a score of 8,400, with an upvote ratio of 91%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
The West doesn't need to use nukes to absolutely demolish Russia. NATO has a functional military that Russia can't counter in any level. Russia has to resort to nukes because they are basically NK in terms of military capabilities.
Many times in this conflict I have wished nuclear weapons didn't exist. We would have wiped the floor with Russia months ago.
And this is exactly why NK and Iran are so dead set on having nukes.
Yep. After what happened to Ukraine, I don't see any nation giving up nukes again, and I bet nearly every nation will develop a nuclear program or ally with already nuclear-capable nations.
Exactly. Lesson learned: don't give up your nukes.
Stay strapped or get clapped, but on an international level.
Ukraine got caught lacking.
Hey, more or less. Ukraine is a good reminder not to make any agreements to denuclearize.
People in the comments don't understand that Macron is just quoting the public nuclear doctrine of France. Between the lines, he is just saying, we respect our nuclear protocols. As France is not directly threatened, we are not using nukes and neither should you, Russia. Just saying we would nuke back, totally, would only play Russia games and escalate further. And #X200B. Now they don't need a nuke. If a nuclear plant is hit or a tactical nuke is launched, NATO or UN will probably pacify the region and create no-fly zones.
A lot of the nuclear rhetoric grabbing headlines of late turns out to be parties just restating their established doctrines when you actually read the articles.
Assure mutual destruction is the only deterrent to someone launching one first. So, most times they are only saying they will flow up and attack with full force to prevent the first attack.
Everybody with at least one brain cell knows that the equation is not really that hard to follow. If Russia nukes Ukraine equals NATO responds with conventional warfare. If Russia nukes West equals NATO responds with nukes.
The disagreement is where people think it ends with NATO and conventional warfare and doesn't escalate from there to Russia nukes West.
It can go both ways, that remains to be seen.
NATO not responding to Russia using nukes is a dangerous precedent too. At the least, NATO should make it clear that if a nuke is used, they will wipe all of Ukraine clear of Russian forces. It makes using a nuke in the first place lose its benefits for Putin because the benefit would be that it might win him Ukraine. So if nuke equals NATO boots on the ground, it is a deterrent without threatening a direct invasion of Russia to trigger MAD. What should be done after Ukraine is secure is the hard part. How far does NATO need to go to ensure no one else tries to use nukes? Do they embargo until internal regime change? Do they try to just take out Putin, or is that also too risky? Do they even set known goals even, or is it just freeze out Russia for a few years and hope they learn their lesson? Either way, a nuke used in Ukraine has to have some response to show that it cannot ever be used in war again, because that is a slippery slope, and NATO support with guarantees of pre-2014 land borders should be enough to scare Putin off without making him worry for his life, and might even give him an out by saying, well, I didn't surrender to Ukraine, we surrendered to NATO.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.